When someone passes, where do they go? Gone forever, or can they show? What if you could find someone between to bridge the gap of those unseen?
Did she know that I was in the hospital room with her?
She tells me you stroked her hand or you stroked her wrist and you squeezed your hand and you said, Mama, Mother, please, Mother, can you hear me? Now he says, Mom, release any guilt. I don't know why he's saying that. I think you have felt if I could have helped somehow, maybe I should have done something. And he says, no, I had to do what I had to do. I see departed souls and I'm able to communicate with them. I get messages from beyond, from your lost loved ones. You may be surprised at what they have to say.
First person that came through was my grandmother's mom, which would be my great-grandmother.
She calls you little Kaylee or baby Kaylee, and she wants you to know you've been a very good mother, because this goes through the back of your head. Am I doing right? Am I a good mother? And she says you're the best. You're the best mother ever. I have another lady coming in on the left. Your great-grandmother actually is with her, and she's opening the door for this other beautiful woman to come through, actually looking sort of like you, Kaylee.
And then she brought my mom through.
And she says, Kaylee, I love you, and I feel pressure here, and I feel like I'm kind of moving forward. I feel like I want to go, you know, like that. I think it's your mother. You've had some nightmares or some bad dreams about her passing. I know she passed quick. She says, tell my daughter, here 1 minute, gone the next.
Why? Did she feel pain? You know, there's a million questions.
I almost feel like head trauma or something like with the neck or falling forward. Does that make sense? I don't think she quite knew what hit her, your mother. I feel like something's coming at me, but all of a sudden my soul is exiting. Was it like an accident, some form of an accident? I feel it's very traumatic, I feel it's very quick, and I feel like I'm falling forward.
It was out of nowhere. She collapsed on the floor, and it turns out that she had heart disease that nobody knew about.
She says you're her baby, and she also tells me, Kaylee, you were supposed to have 3 children. I don't know if you terminated one, if you lost one. Do you understand that?
I miscarried a month before my mom passed. She was one of the only people that knew about it.
Because your mother has the soul with her that you lost. Don't worry, honey, your mother says, I have that soul with me.
So there's no possible way that anybody could have picked up on that.
That's something you haven't told a lot of people, your mother's telling me.
No, 3.
3 people?
3 people.
Because she tells me, it's okay, sweetheart. She says, there are a lot of women that have lost children. Many women ask, what did I do wrong? Am I being punished? We do choose our parents to learn and grow with. So the human soul at any point of development can literally change its mind and retract from the mother's body, and that's a miscarriage. In Kaylee's case, I first of all felt her emotional distress. I was getting emotional myself because there's nothing like the loss of a child. And then it was confirmed actually by her mother from the spirit world, who I heard say, tell my daughter Kaylee, I have her baby with me in heaven. Was that your fiance's baby?
Yes.
Okay, because that drew you closer together, believe it or not. Do you know what she's saying? I feel there's more of a bonding since you lost that child. So again, the soul chose you as parents, came for a short time to bring the 2 of you even closer.
Okay.
And your mother wants me to tell you that she blesses the wedding, and she says, don't wait too long, you got a good one, grab him.
Okay.
Jay, like a John, like a Joe?
Josh.
Josh, who's that?
Josh is my fiance, my girl's
Really?
dad.
Your mother will be at the wedding, sweetheart. She says, I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna wear, Kaylee. She says, you know me, I was more relaxed.
Yeah.
I may wear a dress, but she says, I think I'm going to wear a pantsuit. She says, to your wedding.
That works.
Yeah, that works, as long as her presence and her love is there.
Yeah.
Right?
I have 2 girls. One is 6, and the other is 1.5.
You have 2 on Earth now. They're beautiful, beautiful children. Your mother calls them little angels. Well, she says, not really. She goes like that. One's very mischievous, and one twirls around, twirls around, twirls around. I don't know if that's the youngest. Yes. Is it 2 girls, right?
2 girls.
The one little girl twirls and twirls. Do you know that she sees your mother? I don't know if she's told you this, but she kind of looks up. She has these beautiful eyes, Kaylee.
Yeah.
And she acknowledges the oldest daughter, and she tells me, yes, from here I see you could be twins, she says. Do people say that to you?
Yeah, all the time.
It's like a mini Kaylee. Actually, I almost want to say that she has the same smile, but your mother, you look a lot like your mother. It's interesting. And she has dimples, your mother.
Yeah.
They're not, I don't think as deep as yours, but I just see like slight dimples, and she has this big grin. We had good times, didn't we? She calls you her best friend, along with being a daughter. I'm getting Jay with it. There's not a John or a Joe.
There's a John, that's my dad, but...
Oh, okay, that would be her way of acknowledging him.
Okay.
He's still on Earth, right?
Yeah.
He has really taken this loss hard. I think he's asking why. Why did all this happen so quickly? I feel that he has imploded. He's holding a lot in. So would you say some prayers for your dad, John, to open his heart? And do you have your mother's ashes with you?
If you enjoy The Michele Livingston Show and want to see her in person, check out her next live seminar.
So here we go. If you can work with me, close your eyes. We're going to take 8 deep breaths, and we're going to start.
Have you recently lost a loved one?
Who lost a husband recently? I had to take a deep breath with him. I feel it was fairly quick.
Could you be the next one to get a reading?
I think I'm with you, sweetie. There's a name like Bree. They're showing me cheese. That's the new one. They showed me Bree cheese, and her daughter's named Bree. See how this works?
This seminar will provide an experience that will truly enhance your understanding of the other dimensions.
When we get over there, we train to help 1 or 2 people that are on the earth plane, and we train to be their guides or their helpers.
And confirm that you
There's a dad figure coming through here.
are never alone.
Did you enjoy it? Oh, thank you so much. Do you have your mother's ashes with you? Do you? Because she says you hold her ashes.
My brother and I had necklaces made with her ashes in them, and I just took it off the chain tonight and put it in my pocket because I was curious if it would come up, and it did, so that really surprised me.
She's honored that you have her ashes, dear. By you bringing her remains along, it helped to pull her energy down. Did you ever go to Disney World?
Yeah.
Really? Mm-hmm. She's showing me Mickey Mouse and the crazy characters of Disney.
Yeah.
And did you go with her?
Yeah.
Because she says those were, happy times, Kaylee, times of fantasy, times of love. When you think of your mother, when you think of me, think of the good memories, the happy times, the laughter.
Okay.
And you get spooked with rides, like up and down.
Yeah.
You have a sick stomach. Is that right?
Yeah, definitely.
Your mother's making me feel like my stomach's sick. And I'm telling her to stop. But she says, my daughter needs good nutrition. Since your mother passed, I don't think you've been eating right. And was it around July, August that she passed?
July.
Because summertime, she's talking about the lazy, crazy, hazy days of summer. That's an old song. But she does not look old.
She was 42.
To me, she looks late 30s, but she's had her hair done to come in to talk to you. And she says, Kaylee, I like your hair that color.
Oh, thanks.
Did you have blonder hair or lighter hair?
It was blonde.
At one time? Mm-hmm. Your mother says this is more you, and she wants to put it in pigtails. Did you ever have pigtails as a little girl?
Yeah, all the time.
She is very proud of you because you put your girls first. And she tells me that it's difficult, hold on, it's difficult when you're a single mom. I assume, well, you're engaged and everything, but sometimes it feels like you're a single mom.
Yeah, it definitely does.
And sometimes your mother's telling me it feels like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And she says, I want my daughter to know I'm taking that off of her shoulders.
It means everything to me, to know that she's with me and that I'm doing the best I can with the girls.
I want to give her peace and rest and hope that we'll meet again. And she says the road to heaven, is paved with, I get rose petals, just beautiful rose petals. Your mother liked flowers, but she says the road to heaven was paved with beautiful flowers and the roses. I don't know if you had roses at her memorial.
Yeah.
But I'm smelling roses. She's letting me literally smell the fragrance of roses. She wants to give you pink roses, sweetheart. Again, unconditional love. And she says no tattoos. Have you thought of that? You're not a tattoo type, are you?
I have one, but I asked my brother if he wanted to go get one recently.
In memory?
He just turned 18, yes.
In memory? Well, you don't get any more, she says. Okay. It's okay for your brother.
All right.
But you're loved, darling, and she's going to be with you on Mother's Day. Mother's Day's big here.
Okay.
And also Christmas Day.
Okay.
She wants you to be happy, all right? Do you have any questions for her? She's very strong standing here.
Did she know that I was in the hospital room with her?
She tells me you stroked her hand or you stroked her wrist and you squeezed your hand and you said, Mama, Mother, please, Mother, can you hear me? And she says, Kaylee, she did hear you. And she wants to reach out and squeeze your hand, honey, and rub your wrist. And she tells me the bond of mother and daughter never ends. It's a circle. It's a circle of love. But sometimes in the hospital, her soul was coming and going. Okay. I'm almost seeing her in an aerial view, and then I'm kind of coming down. When a person's in a coma or in life support, their soul will be coming and going out of their body. And in Kaylee's case, I actually saw her mother's soul above on the ceiling looking down at her own body. But again, I get something here, I get pushing forward, and but I'm not getting a lot of pain. I mean, I really have to tell you. Your mother says, in your next dream, I'll be hugging you like you're a little girl again.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
So God bless you.
A bond between a mother and daughter never ends. Having two little girls my own, I know that the intense love is out of this world.
Attract what you want in life. Learn more about your evolutionary soul journey. Gain in-depth knowledge about metaphysical concepts.
Start with Messages from Beyond. It's a spiritual guidebook that talks about the soul journey. Everything you've ever wanted to know is in this book. It's Spirituality 101.
Messages from Beyond, a spiritual guidebook. Available at michellelivingston.com and wherever books are sold.
I have a lady, Helen, on your left. It's either a grandmother or a great-grandmother. She's not very tall. She's holding up a rose, and I don't know if that name's in your family or she belongs to a rose.
It's her last name.
Whose last name?
It's my husband's grandmother.
And her last name was Rose? Mm-hmm. Okay, she's here. And
we live in
she's
her
kind of
house.
pushing in. Hi, Helen, you probably didn't think you'd hear from me, did you?
My husband's grandmother, her name is Mary Rose, and we actually live in her house.
She is a little bit feisty.
She is.
She wasn't very tall. She loved her family. She loved to cook.
Yes.
She's mentioning May. I think it deals with you and your husband. But would this be, you say, your husband's?
Yes, and it's our anniversaries in May.
Is it?
Yes.
So there are the little silver wedding bells. Happy anniversary, Helen.
Thank you.
And there's I don't know if you're married to a J, but I get
John.
And okay, that would be your husband.
Mm-hmm.
She tells me, well, I'm looking down from heaven and you two are very, very happy together. She says, you know, Helen, you have him wrapped around your little finger. She's doing this.
Yes.
Helen can do no wrong.
That's what he does to me.
Helen can do no wrong. Okay, so I have two energies coming in, though. This is your dad first. I couldn't let this go by without telling my baby girl how much I love her. You have made us not only proud, but we see your heart light. I'm getting a name handed down the generational line. There's another Joseph back there in time somewhere.
There was a lot of Joes.
Really?
Yeah, so I don't, I'm not really.
So Joseph and your father-in-law and this lady with the last name of Rose that actually has rosary beads is opening the door, Helen, for a younger male figure to come through.
Okay.
He doesn't want to come in on the left or right. He comes in right between the both of you. He puts his hand on Amanda's shoulder. He puts his hand on your shoulder. He says, "Hi, it's me. You know I'd show up." He has an easygoing attitude. He's kind of, I'm going to say a little quirky. I don't know. I know that sounds kind of odd. Like a very strange sense of humor and just quirky and kind of not flamboyant, but he's moving his hands around and he's going, "I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Hi, Amanda." He says, "I just want to pull on your hair." He literally comes around and he's pulling on your hair. He likes the color. I don't know if you've changed the color. And he does like it long. He tells me he got depressed sometimes. He tells me sometimes he didn't feel like he would fit in certain situations. I don't know what he's talking about. But he says, "Amanda, you're more like Dad." He goes like this. Can you relate to that?
Yes. She is a lot like him, and he picked on her about it a little bit.
And he comes around and kisses you, and he says, "I'm like Mom."
And he's definitely a little bit more like me, and as soon as she said that, I just knew it was definitely him.
And he says, "I want to give you comfort." And he literally wraps his arms around you. And he gently wants to rock you, almost like an older brother would a younger sister. Did somebody do something, plant a rose bush or plant something in his honor, do you know?
Yes. There was a plant planted, and my sister's significant other planted a tree.
What, were there other plantings too?
There was the tree at the school too.
Oh, that's right, at his school, they planted a tree in his honor.
In his honor. He liked like cartoons or animation
He did.
or Disney. I don't know why.
He loved Disney.
Yeah, he says, "I still love Disney." I mean, he is, it's almost like a dual personality.
And he's a Gemini.
Is he?
Yeah.
I was almost going to say he's probably a Gemini because I'm a Gemini, and we're kind of like this, Helen. He's sorry if he hurt anybody in family. He says, "There's a big hole in Mom's heart, but I'll see you again." He wants you to dry your tears. I know you've had some bad dreams maybe after he passed, but he says, "Tell Mom I'm going to come through in a good one." And is there a mirror in your bedroom?
Do angels exist? Do they accompany us on our journeys through life? Do departed loved ones continue to watch over and at times communicate with us?
Miraculous Encounters is over 100 true stories of people's experiences with angels and the other side. There are 10 different ways that the spirit realms communicate.
Miraculous Encounters, true stories of experiences with angels and departed loved ones. Available at michellelivingston.com and wherever books are sold.
Is there a mirror in your bedroom or the hall?
There is, right in front of my bed.
Because he comes through the mirror. And I need to, your son that is, I need to tell you that mirrors are portals. And the reason they're portals is the back is flat and black, but the front of the mirror creates a three-dimensional world, and many souls will come and go through mirrors. He likes to come in and tuck you in at night, which says he was sensitive too.
He was very sensitive.
Very sensitive person.
Very loving.
Michelle would have never known that this mirror, it's right in front of my bed. It's creepy, but it's there. And there are so many times I go to roll over and I look and I think that it's him, but it's me. And when she said that, I was like, oh my God.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not allergic to cats. He says, "I know you have a cat up there." That's how he's talking, just like that. There was mannerisms. "I know you have a cat locked up there." Did he like cats, or was he allergic?
We had 2 cats, and we just lost one of our cats in January, and he was really devastated.
I think he's with the cat. He says, "I always have loved the cat, but sometimes I can't get rid of it." You know, it's kind of following him around heaven.
Okay.
Helen. Now he says, Mom, release any guilt. I don't know why he's saying that. I think you have felt, if I could have helped somehow, maybe I should have done something. And he says, no, I had to do what I had to do. I'm getting a little dizzy, though, before my last breath. Did he take his life?
He did.
There has been in your mind, Helen, the thought of, did he make it to heaven? Mm-hmm. Where is he because he took his life? Okay. And I do have to say there's no condemnation with it. It's a choice. When a family member takes their life, it's very devastating for the family. There's an aftermath of anger and guilt attached, but there's no judgment, basically, with suicide. It's merely a choice. When we are ready to be born, we make a soul agreement in heaven with our spirit guides for an amount of time to be lived on earth. If that time frame is, let's say, 40 years, and we choose to take our life around the age of 20, we are literally out of 20 years of soul growth and development. He didn't mean to leave you behind or devastate either one of you.
It hurts because I felt like I couldn't be there to save him, to fix what was ever hurting him.
But life is full of decisions, he says, Mom. And it can be like whether we buy a new car, whether we get married or relocate, it's a decision. I know it's a devastating decision. But he tells me he made it, he was welcomed with open arms. He also did some writing. I don't know if he wrote poetry.
He did.
Did he write poetry?
Mm-hmm.
Because he seems really multi-talented to me.
He really is.
He seems like he would be a good photographer. Mm-hmm. He would be a good writer. He would be a good designer. He could do things, you know, he's very creative.
He was graduating from Art Institute of York as a graphic designer. So he loved to paint, he loved to draw, he loved to write, he loved to make music.
He likes the way the set's decorated. I just have to say, honestly, I just get such a kick out of him. Did you get a tattoo or something in his honor?
Yes, we both did.
Okay, but he says they're different, so I don't understand what he's talking about.
They are.
But one or both of you had a flower.
We both got his flower that he drew of a tattoo.
Okay.
And then we both got something separate.
Yeah, then we both got two tattoos,
feeling
one's different.
He likes that idea. He says, that honors me. That's something that you can look at and remember me by. Do you understand that he felt sometimes like he didn't fit in? You understand that?
He said that a few times.
Did he?
Yes.
And he got himself down. He was a very empathic person. So he would pull in other people's energy. And I think there was peer pressure earlier on at school.
It was.
He wanted to fit in, but he didn't quite feel like he would fit in all the time. And I also have to say, I don't think this taking of his life or crossing himself over was a long time of being thought about. I don't feel it was premeditated for a long, long time. Do you understand?
He was actually supposed to be graduating and coming home, and so it was in 3 weeks, and the weekend before we were planning his graduation party, so that was why I didn't understand. You know, he printed out, he made his invitations, and he was supposed to be coming home.
He was confused, very confused. He didn't know what to do with his life. He wasn't quite sure if he could cut it in the real world, and I don't know what he means by that. I'm sorry, but that's what he's saying to me. And he says, life goes on, Mom. You and Amanda and Dad aren't going to join me for a long, long time. But get yourself another cat.
He kept saying something to me previously that we should get another cat, and I just wasn't ready. You know, that loss was just too much for me.
He's going to be painting in heaven, and he's going to be writing in heaven, and he's going to be influencing people here on earth with creative writing and creative design and creative painting. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
I don't know if he painted anything with water ever, but he says water's very good for Mom, and you need to go towards the ocean.
He would do like watercolors at the beach, and then he would dip it in the water, and that was like, they would just sit on the beach for hours and hours.
All I know is he has the best smile in the whole world.
He does.
His smile goes ear to ear. It's unbelievable. And you're gonna start having good dreams about him.
Oh, good.
He wants to give you a hug. He says, a man to take care of her, and my daddy, my dad. He's glad that you have things of his that will remain with you always.
They will.
His artwork, and keep smiling, Mom. And he keeps saying, dry your tears, dry your tears.
How does it feel to have come through this reading, be walking out the door tonight after the information that you received?
Well, it's just been so chaotic, and it's like we're trying to find answers, and no, we're never really gonna find everything we wanna know, but hearing from him and that he's okay, and this is what he needed to do for him, it just sort of grounded me, and now I feel like I can leave here and have a little peace in me.
I don't think you're totally resolved with your dad's passing. I think that you say, God, why did you take my dad? And I'm even feeling some anger. I feel like I'm rolling, almost like I'm rolling out of bed, okay? And I feel like I'm falling.
I had taken a 5-minute break and fell asleep on the couch.
I don't know what he fell on, but he needs to say, Mommy,